So for pigeon pose, we're actually going to start with a variation. If pigeon is a little bit too hard for you, I want you to start in a supine position, knees bent, your feet up close towards your butt, and you're just going to take that right foot, cross it over your left knee, keeping both of your feet flexed. This might be enough of a stretch for you here. If not, then you can just grab your hands behind that left knee, pulling it towards you. Okay, so mimicking that pigeon stretch just without the weight bearing aspect of it. So should make it a little bit easier here, and you can control the depth of the stretch. To come out of it, just bring your left foot down, unhook the right foot, and we'll switch sides. So our left foot crosses over the right knee. Once again, remembering to flex both of those feet so that we're protecting all of our knee ligaments here. Bringing those feet up, you can either push them away from you for a different kind of hip stretch, or like I said, pull them in towards you. This is called figure 4 stretch, another variation of pigeon pose. Now, if you are ready for full pigeon pose, you can go ahead and come out of this. So the same way, bring your right foot down, left foot down. Now, I always like to start pigeon pose from a downward facing dog. Most poses where one foot comes forward, it's just easier to do that. So starting in your downward facing dog, inhaling your right leg high to the sky, you're going to sweep it through, and then you're going to rest the outer edge of that right shin down on the mat. Okay, so the more parallel that front leg is to the front of the mat, the harder the stretch is. The closer your heel is in towards your groin, the easier the stretch. Okay, you're going to check your back foot, make sure that it's straight, making sure that your toes aren't going in a weird way or your ankle isn't crooked, and finding that stability. You want even pressure in both of your hips. Okay, that's what's going to allow for that stretch of your outer right hip. Now you can stay up, opening the chest here in pigeon pose, or you can take the option to come down to your elbows. You can come down to your forehead, or you can also take the full resting pigeon pose, which is with your arms all the way out in front of you. Now, because this is weight bearing, what you're doing is you're just adding an extra stretch in. Okay, as humans, we hold all of our emotions in our hips. We're sitting all day long in planes and cars, at work, so we never really get a chance to let out all of that tension that gathers in that area. So you can always use a pillow or a block underneath you. But we're going to switch sides here. Now, I always go back into three-legged dog before I meet back in downward dog to switch sides. What this does is it just drains all that blood, really just kind of rejuvenates that leg before you get going into the other side. Okay, so you inhale the left leg to the side, sweep it through, coming down on the outer edge of that left shin. Once again, tucking a block or a pillow underneath you if you're not all the way down on the ground, just so that your focus is the stretch on the outer hip and you're making sure that your alignment is good, because we want equal pressure in those hips. We want to keep that front foot flexed so that we're protecting all of our knee ligaments. Our back foot is straight, our toes are tucked under, and then when we're ready, taking whichever variation that we took on the other side. So whether that's staying upright, coming down to your elbows, your forehead, or all the way down for our resting pigeon pose. Now, because of the discomfort in this one, a lot of people don't have the hip flexibility. That's why we started with the figure 4 stretch, but I really encourage you to just stay in it, feel that discomfort, and you'll be better for it. So to get out, coming back into that three-legged dog, meeting us back in downward facing dog.